Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Thursday, November 19th. If you're watching this recording, probably means you did not join the scheduled Zoom for Read 180. And just a reminder that we really expect you to be in class via Zoom at your regular scheduled time. And that is how I am taking attendance. So just a reminder that if you do not join Zoom, you will be marked absent for my class period for that day. Now, if you are sick or out of town, just a reminder, you do need to call the office, have your mom or dad or some grown-up call the office, let them know what's going on, and then they'll mark the attendance accurately. And so if you do have to watch the screencast recording, I will know it's because you were out of town or you were probably sick. Now, you'll see today's agenda. We're going to go through the morning meeting slide for Thursday in class. We won't do that in this recording. The materials, you'll need a charged iPad, a pencil, Read 180 binder, and your real book. And then for your agenda, you'll see there's 5 things you'll be doing. Remember, this is a 2-period class, so we've broken it down. So the first 3 things we'll do basically in the first hour, the first period. You'll do your daily check-in. Remember, you find that in Schoology. You'll do your bell work. It's week 8, day 4. You have that paper in your binder, but remember, you're going to take a picture of it each day and then submit it in Schoology with the correct assignment from the bell work folder. And then we're going to be continuing in workshop 4 with lesson 14, pages 214 and 215. Then the second part of the hour, after you finish this assignment for lesson 14, then you will complete 20 minutes of software and you will go and move right into independent reading. Remember, you must do software for 20 minutes. That is required. At the end of the week, I will tally up your minutes, and then that is how you're going to get graded. If you do all the minutes required, you'll get all full 10 points. It's a really easy way to get an A in this area. And then your independent reading, once you've completed your 20 minutes of reading from your reading counts book or your novel that you checked out from school, complete your reading log so we know what pages and what's happening in your book. Now, today's learning target is analyze how graphics, headers, and captions fit into a text and add to the overall ideas. And then the last thing is some reminders. Just remember that when we do large group Zoom for Read 180, we do that on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Remember, we do not have a scheduled Zoom for Wednesday when it is a flex day. That is when we push assignments out for students. Okay? Now we will move into lesson 14, pages 214 and 215. So make sure you have your pencil ready to go, and we will get started. And again, as we go through and you have to do some writing in your book, remember you can pause the recording to get the writing in and then keep moving. But I will keep moving just because of the time factor of this recording. So today we will take you on the thrilling 12-day-long manhunt for assassin John Wilkes Booth. We will use text entries and a map to trace this winding journey. And again, learning target, we're going to analyze how visual headings, captions, and a map, how these visual features can help us to navigate and understand a text. And it's just another way for us to gain some information. So before we get started, I do want you to preview pages 214 and 215. And please notice the text features. Looking at the title, you'll see tracking an assassin. You'll see it'll be different print. A font size is a little bit bigger. They're using 2 different colors. Any kind of picture, well, on page 215, we'll notice there's more of the picture is a map. There's an introduction on page 214. You'll notice there's headings. And again, could be bold print. We're going to see different colors. And then again, when you're looking at the timeline, you're going to see a lot of dates on the map on page 215. In addition, you'll see at the bottom of the page, there's a key. And that's important because the red dashed lines show what the fugitives trail is, and the blue dashed lines show what the Union soldiers trail is. Again, we'll be able to navigate how far they traveled because we do also have a key with that information, how many miles or kilometers. Also, you'll notice there's captions, there's dates, there's a lot of information in this timeline or in this map. All right, so I'm going to keep moving with the slides, but I want you to find this vocabulary word on page 214, and the first word is witness. And the definition for witness is someone who sees an event and can describe it. And you'll notice I put in blue the definitions that you'll fill in on page 214. Now, the example that you're going to respond to is, what is one time you were a witness to an important event? Now, I might say, I am happy to witness your continued growth in Read 180, or I am a witness to your progress with your reading. Now, I'm talking about really about a person and what I'm seeing. Now, you might also think, oh, I've been to a ceremony. I've been a witness to maybe a graduation or a baptism. We can also see that I have a picture of maybe a court system where if there is a trial, oftentimes the lawyers call witnesses to talk about the event and describe it so it's part of the case if they're prosecuting a criminal. Our next word is identity. And the definition, or to identify, sorry about that. Identify means to recognize someone or something. So how do you identify your friends in a crowd? So to identify my friends in a crowd, I look for their distinctive features, like what are their features, what features stand out so you know that it's your friend and you can see them right away. And that includes their what. So like a lot of times I might say, I can identify my daughters by the color of their hair. Or I can identify that person because he's really tall. And again, I can recognize someone or something quickly. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to read the text and we're going to be looking at a map to gain some information. But let's just backtrack just a second. We've learned about Lincoln's assassin and how Booth carried out his terrible crime. So today's reading is going to be a timeline that depicts the events along the escape route of assassin John Wilkes Booth. Now we're going to read page 214 and then we're going to preview page 215. And I want you then at that point to be able to answer the key idea question on page 215. And the question you're going to be answering is, why were Union soldiers following John Wilkes Booth trail? Okay. All right. So let's get your book and I will start reading page 214. Tracking an assassin. The 12-day-long manhunt for assassin John Wilkes Booth took Union soldiers on a wild chase from Washington, D.C. through Maryland and into Virginia. April 14th, Ford's Theater, Washington, D.C. And if you notice on the map, they're going to circle that picture next to the caption Ford's Theater so we know where it starts. President Lincoln and his wife watch a play with Major Henry Rathbone and Clara Harris. A man sneaks up behind Lincoln, draws his pistol, and shoots. Chaos erupts as the shooter flees the theater. Will no one stop that man? Shouts Rathbone. The mortally wounded president is taken to the Peterson House nearby. April 15th. Peterson House, Washington, D.C. Now you're going to notice if you look at the map on page 215, we're going to see the Peterson House, a picture of that with a caption next to it, the black square, and then you'll see the date, April 15th in blue. Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton questions witnesses from the theater. Each one identifies actor John Wilkes Booth as the shooter. Stanton orders police officers and Union soldiers to guard bridges and search trains to find Booth. At 7:22 a.m., Lincoln dies. Now he belongs to the ages, Stanton declares. Now you'll notice that when I was reading, I had to pay attention. I'll just be on this page. Sorry. Make sure you answer the key idea question, and then we'll continue on. Now you'll notice as we were reading, I noticed that I had to pay attention to the information for both the text on page 214 and the map to help me understand that Union soldiers were following Booth to try to capture them. And again, remember, we see the red dashed lines. That's Booth's, that's the fugitive. And then the blue dashed lines would be the Union soldiers. Now again, if you look at the text structure of this, it has really, it gives us some really good organization, and it gives us some good information that again, that stands out. It's easy for us to see visually. Now text structure includes the features, the introduction, the headings, the captions, and images. All right, now your job for your assignment will be, you're going to be completing the questions on page 215, where you're going to be identifying and circling text features along with answering 2 questions. Please remember to answer your questions in complete sentences. Now you're going to see that where it says identify text structure, the first thing you're going to do is circle features in the text that organizes information into different sections. So like I know, like the introduction gave me some good information. That's right at the beginning of page 214. So I would circle that introduction, that text, all that writing. So I want you to go ahead and do that. What else can I circle? Now, if you look at the map, there are some things that definitely stand out that you can circle. Maybe such as dates. How about the headings? And those, when I talk about the headings, I'm talking about the black boxes with the white writing. Okay. Maybe the map itself, I circle the whole thing. Another piece of information is the key. That tells me whose trail I'm looking at. So once you have circled those features, I want you to answer, how do text features help readers keep track of events in the text? And how do the map features help you understand the events of the text? And again, you're going to want to pause this, finish those 2 questions, and then I'm going to have you complete the react and write. You're going to write a headline that a newspaper reporter might write for April 14th or April 15th. Underline details in the text to support your idea. And again, when you're looking at that, go back to page 214, and is there any information in either April 14th or April 15th that would give you a good heading? Like maybe the manhunt for an assassin. And then what information could you use from those entries, either April 14th or April 15th? Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to have you look at is a strategy toolkit. Remember, checking headings, captions, or labels will help you understand how the information is organized and how the different parts work together to the development of the overall story. And again, take some time to examine those text features. Now, the last thing I'm going to have you do is, once you have completed pages 214 and 215, I want you to take a picture of both and submit it to the Lesson 14 assignment in Schoology. Now, the last thing is, here's your reminder of your task for today. I'm going to sign off, but you can freeze this frame right now and read through the 5 things that you're expecting to do. And then in that second box, that is some important information for you. All right, and again, as you are working, if you get stuck, you can always reach out. I will try to help the best I can, but I think you should be able to handle this pretty easily today. Again, take a look at this last slide if you're not sure what is happening or what you're expected to do today, and you can go ahead and check it off as you finish. All right, have a great day, and we will see you on Friday.